Street, round number 1, heat number 1. Great riders on the course getting ready to drop in, and this is how it breaks down here at the X Games Asia. Round 1, you get 2 heats of 5 riders, 15-minute heat, and 5 advance to the final. So out of the 10 riders that we'll see in our 2 heats today, they will only send 5. Here's a start list. Zach Warden, you might remember that name from 1 year ago as he won the BMX Mini Mega competition. And we will see him first, in addition to Morgan Wade, Chad Curley, Liam Zingbergs, and Jeremiah Smith. Hello everybody, once again I'm Paul Higgins along with Chad Kagi joining me today. And Chad, great to have you here, and I know you're taking a little break from warm-up on the competition, but you drop in with us. And Zach Warden, you're very familiar with Zach. You take a look at these athletes, Zach, and you take a look at what Zach has done, Chad, in his career. But the judges, they have to throw everything out. This is a fresh run, new day. You got to just no bias aside. Judging, it's pretty tough.
Regardless of what the judges have in their mind of what Zach is capable of, they have to look at the event as today only and watch what his riding is and he's capable of on this particular event day.
Once again, you've been watching the key X Games Asia over the years, and can't emphasize enough, huge double tail whip right there. But you look at the creativity, style, difficulty of tricks, using the entire course. There's a lot that goes into this.
There's a ton that goes into this, and the judges have a really hard job. They're watching guys like Zach Warden right now use the park course, but he's using the ramps with the transitions more often than the rails, where when guys like Chad Curley show up, they're going to be using the rails and stairs more often.
And you might hear the wind in our microphones, and it is a little bit windy, but does that have an effect on this particular competition? I know in what you do in the big ramps it does, but what about on the street course?
The effect of the wind on an event like this, you're not quite as high up in the air, so you don't have as much time for the wind to blow you sideways. It does have an effect, but it's not nearly as severe as, say, something on a mega ramp.
And Morgan Wade just attacking this course. Warden got a 23. They'll take the 2 best riders out of this heat, the 2 best riders out of the second heat, and then they'll pick a 5th rider, and looking at the combination of the 2. So Zach Warden, you're allowed 2 falls, and then on your second fall, you're done. Your first fall, you can continue if you like.
And as you saw, Morgan went down, jumps right back up, and he's moving as fast as he can to make sure he can get a score in there.
Now, you've got a lot of speed to your runs, obviously, when you do the vert ramp and you do the BMX Mini Mega competition, but the judges like to see speed, don't they?
There's a lot of variety going into different styles of riding, and Morgan is the type of rider that goes as fast as he possibly can around the course. It's great.
And as we break down this competition, Chad will start to tell you about the bikes. Some of these guys have brakes, some of them don't have brakes. It's a rider preference, and we'll tell you all about that. Getting ready to drop in right now onto the street course is Chad Curley. We've seen 2 BMX riders in. Warden has a 23, Wade has a 16. They will improve on those scores. It's always tough to go your first run.
Absolutely. Being the first one out of the gate is tough too. And you'll notice we were talking about brakes versus no brakes. Watch Chad Curley, how dialed he is being on one wheel, and he has no brakes. This man has unbelievable bike control.
Rear manual to a front manual up on the transition.
His skills are amazing.
And he just thrown little flatland tricks in there. That was kind of cool.
He's got a hang 5 coming out of a manual, and then wait for his next run. I guarantee you're going to be blown away when he links that together.
Bar spin down, up the ledge, and then down the ledge.
Wow, Chad Curley.
Oh, staying, whoa!
And then leaves the course. That's part of his run. We watched that in qualifying. Absolutely amazing how he just incorporates whatever he wants.
Curley taking advantage of the entire course and then some. That will be a good score for him. And again, as Zach mentioned, it's pretty, as Chad mentioned, it's pretty tough to score these guys. The judges are all riders, they're veterans of the sport. They know these riders in and out. And again, looking at creativity, style, difficulty of tricks. What do you like about Liam?
Oh, wow. If you notice, one of his first tricks, he jumped into an ice pick grind, which is just the back peg, and he wasn't going very fast. Good bike control and balance as he's going down that rail. And there's an incorporated new different trick. He's doing a toothpick grind with his foot on the peg.
And one thing about these riders, as Chad does in his competition, they make it look too easy.
All these tricks right here are unbelievably difficult. I can't even do most of these.
Right on top of the ledge, drop it in on the quarter pipe. And the horn blows. So a pretty successful run for Liam as we get ready for Jeremiah Smith, and he will round out our 5 riders that have gone now in heat number 1.
This is the first time we're seeing Jeremiah Smith on this course outside of practice since he was last year's winner.
Oh, that's right. That's right. What a great guy, too, you know?
He is a funny guy. That is amazing. Big Superman seat grab on a small quarter pike like that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Huge win last year, qualifying, of course, and as he drops right in, did a great job 1 year ago, back at it again. I was watching him yesterday during the rain delay. He could not stay off his bike.
He loves riding his bike, and you'll see all these double peg run up the rail to tail whip, but right before that, he's doing a 360 downside whip over one of the box jumps. Very well-rounded bike rider.
Chad, when does a rider decide that he wants to be a street rider as opposed to a vert ramp rider?
You know, a lot of that doesn't even come into making a decision. It's what you have in front of you and what you're capable of riding. And most kids grow up with dirt in the backyard, grab a shovel, or ride downtown.
Yep. So the Smith gets a 43. Curley behind him a 35. And Warden, oh my goodness.
40. Wow. The 540 bike flip is just unbelievably difficult. And to come out of one ramp into another one, the transfer, he just made that 10 times harder than it needs to be.
You know, it's one thing to see inline skates and then see skateboarding as the level goes up in a street course, but to see bikes, it's a whole nother level. There he goes again. Oh, crashing hard. And definitely looked like ankle's a little ginger right there.
This is going to be a throwaway run for him. I noticed yesterday he started feeling sick, so he's struggling a little bit today.
That's right. He told me on the vert ramp, that's interesting you say, during the competition, as he was watching, came down with a little bit of a flu. And that takes it out of you, no doubt about it. A lot of speed to Wade's run.
Yep, Morgan always going fast. It's a good aspect of his run. Makes him different than some of the other riders. Like we were talking about Liam. Liam's a nice, slow, controlled rider. Morgan likes to go full throttle at all times.
Morgan had a 16 on his first run. This will definitely be better. That's a very hard trick going up the rail.
Up the rail is difficult. It's something that's really gained popularity in the last few years. These guys are just trying to do something different and fun, and that's toothpick hangover going down the rail. That one's really appeared in the last couple of years.
And your thoughts about riders going back and forth on a course, and this is more of that back and forth type of course because it doesn't have a lot of different transitions that kind of put you in that circular motion. How much does that play in a run when you develop a line?
It plays in quite heavily because if you get stuck or lost or you mind blank, you get stuck on one side of the course and you're just going back and forth hitting ramps, not any of the rails. You really need to utilize the whole course.
So you're starting to see the combination scores come up. And Wade has a 39. This is Curley. He had a great score of 35 his first run.
Very, very good run. And I'm expecting him to be right up near the top of the pack, even in the end of this.
Besides practice and qualifying, this is the first time I've seen him ride in the last couple of days. This guy is a really good rider.
Absolutely amazing. And the funny story with him, a manual, no brakes, controlled enough to bar spin the ice pick down that rail. He was one of the campers that was used in the TV show for Woodward Camp just a couple of years ago.
Really?
And now he's one of the top pros. Absolutely amazing.
So you see a lot of him.
Oh, yeah.
And Chad Kage talking about Camp Woodward in Pennsylvania. Oh.
Disaster, revert, 180 down, bunny off tail whip. He just keeps going.
That's a fantastic run. I don't doubt that it might be even better than a 35. So here we go with Zingbergs and Smith. And when you look at what these riders are doing on the street course, they've really upped it from 1 year ago.
Absolutely. It's nice getting a different course, different variety, different riders get to jump into these final rounds. And as we're seeing from Liam, very good bike control.
And you see Curley's score of 76, so it really drops up, or moves up in the ladder there on the 76. Zingberg's hoping to do the same. Again, the riders being judged on creativity, style, difficulty of tricks, using the entire course, how high you get on the transitions, how high you get off. That doesn't matter too much on this particular competition, huh? Because it's about street.
It depends on who the rider is and how they want to use the course, because you can interpret this any way you want. And you'll notice some of these guys get started and they'll get lost, and they know they've got multiple runs and they're only taking the 2 best. They'll give up and go a little slow and practice something for a couple of tries.
Once again, joining me on the broadcast today is Chad Kagi, a legend in the sport of BMX.
And here we are watching Jeremiah Smith absolutely destroy this course.
Do you know what he listens to? He has his headphones on. Do you know what he listens to?
He listens to all kinds of different stuff. We call him the Ginger Ninja. And he could be listening to anything from... he's probably listening to the Backstreet Boys right now, honestly. I'm just kidding.
You never know, right?
I just like giving him a hard time.
That
was a nice hand plant. Using obstacles in the course that are just signage for Kia.
That's right.
Thanks, Kia, for putting that in there.
Yeah, there you go. So the two best scorers will advance out of this heat. Right now, it's Curley and Zingbergs with a 76 for Curley. Zingbergs with a 41. Back up to Warden. He could change things right here.
Oh, he stayed on. I cannot believe he stayed on.
So what was that trick?
That is a 540 bike flip.
Okay.
If we have any ability to have a replay later on, or if you guys have anything, that is amazing. That's typically a vert trick. I've only seen it on a vert ramp before.
We'll definitely make note of that.
He's the only one in the world that knows how to do that trick.
Pretty spectacular. 540 back flip.
No, it's a
bike flip.
540 bike flip.
Bike flip.
Unbelievable.
540 bike flip. We'll definitely check that out.
Unfortunately,
later on in the competition.
He lost his glasses upon the landing and slowed down.
How about it? So we are seeing a pretty stellar heat number 1 in BMX Street. Coming right at you as we drop in here at the X Games Asia. Lots of speed. It's just amazing how the tricks have developed. We go back into, the first extreme games. Remember Dennis McCoy and Matt Hoffman and Swope back in the day, everybody doing what they were doing, and the progression has just escalated so much.
Every year, new kids pick up a BMX bike and they start riding, and they'll watch stuff like this, and this is years and years of riding for these guys to get to this point, and these kids are just growing up thinking that that's normal.
Yeah.
And the ability is there and you can do it. Whereas when we started, nobody even did backflips.
Yeah.
Todd Lyons started doing backflips, and then when you know it's possible,
that's right.
Go for it.
Todd
Morgan's
Lyons
out here just launching things.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while, Todd Lyons. That's great.
The one and only Wild man.
I love that guy. So Wade's got a 39, and Curley has a 76. And here we go again with this technical freestyle rider that just dominates the course. Really like his style, like everything about him.
It's amazing how he can go from a peg grind balancing into a manual and then into another grind, spinning the bars, tail whips, and 540s, just all linking together so smooth.
So Chad, he chooses to have 3 pegs. He has the one peg that he's missing on the left side of the bike in the rear. That's just by choice and what he does with tricks.
Personal preference. Straight up that ledge to 540 and then
360 off. It stays on.
The ability that he has to spin is amazing. It's his peg choice. I've been running 2 pegs for the last 10 years. He runs 3, a couple guys run 1, some run 4. It's all about what grinds you want to do, or you take one off to challenge yourself and force you to use the other ones.
I can't imagine.
Are you looking at
I can't imagine hanging this guy loose in Shanghai on just Shanghai, what it has to offer out in the city. He would destroy it. So Zingbergs with a 41. Again, right now, Smith with an 81. He'll advance. And then Curley.
Bettering his score.
Yep. How about that with that 77? So the difference in points with Curley and Smith, I'll talk about it here when Smith goes, but Zingbergs, he needs a pretty big run. Well, is it in him?
As long as he stays on his wheels and keeps flowing, he's going to get rid of that 15. He's really, really going to need to step it up and start moving, get around to the other side of the course, use a little bit more of it in order to get the score up high enough. Unfortunately, crashing like that is going to get rid of that 15, but not high enough to jump into these top 2 spots.
Once again, you're watching the BMX Street Round 1, Heat number 1. Here at the Kia X Games Asia 2012. And we'll get to see another run out of each of these riders. And we'll take the top 2 from this heat and the top 2 for the next heat.
Jeremiah up the rail and then hops over the rail the hard way out.
He's the man to beat, isn't he?
He is on point, and this is last year's champion. He's definitely the man to beat.
Very smooth rider, very fluid throughout the entire course.
He is on fire like his hair color.
No question about it. Where does he reside?
He's actually living about 5 miles away from me in State College, Pennsylvania. He calls close to Woodward home. A handful of us moved out there to be able to practice and ride and have fun on a regular basis. Another hand plant. He makes that look too easy.
Certainly does. Jeremiah Smith will move into the final, so you get an opportunity to see him again. And coming in now, Zach Warden.
Zach Warden going for it again.
He did that 540 bike flip moments ago.
Double tail whip. He's putting some vert tricks in on this street course.
That was a really nice shot of Zach doing that double tail whip. You can see how far he traveled, too, from above.
360 tail whip into there, nose wheelie out. He's one of those riders. He has the ability to do grinds up rails like this, which is street, and then he throws in some of those vert and quarter pipe tricks like 540 bike flips and stuff like that.
That's all he needed to do. How about that, Zach Warden? We'll see if his score improves as we get set now for Morgan Wade. So Morgan Wade needs to improve on his score. The last run for Warden was at 23, so he's at 48. Right now, he will not advance. Oh my goodness.
My God, Morgan.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, Morgan.
That hurt. He crushed the side of the platform with a side rib cage.
One of the drawbacks to this sport is you can interpret whatever you want, go wherever you want, and he ran into the side of that ramp.
Now, for you kids at home, this is one reason why you wear a helmet, you wear pads. He's got knee pads on those jeans, underneath those jeans. And not only are they professional riders, but you guys are professional crashers. You know how to crash properly if there is such a thing.
I'd have to say that the most laughs I get out of kids, parents, when they ask me, don't you fall every now and then? And I say, yeah, I'm actually really good at falling. I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
You have to. And luckily, we have some of the best medical staff out here taking care of us when we do have something go wrong.
And it's great to see him get back up. So we're happy that he is going to get back up and walk away.
He's a trooper.
He'll go to the Crown Plaza and hopefully maybe get a massage or something, or get in the pool and loosen up there. Morgan Wade crashing hard. Chad, take us through what he was trying to do.
Well, Morgan knows he needs to up his score, so he changed from a turn down into a 360, and this is the first time he's attempted it, and he just got that angle wrong going in. Wasn't going to make the distance, straight to ribs.
He's a tough cookie.
One of the few guys that's out here riding vert, street, and mini mega.
So Morgan Wade crashing hard.
Chad Curley with that unbelievable balance. My goodness. Manual, dropping down, nose wheelie, bar spin. Chad, you're incredible. You amaze me on a regular basis.
Unless something happens with the Zingbergs and he gets a really stellar run, you're going to see Curley in the final.
You know what? Even if he has a perfect run, unfortunately, he'll be in third place. He won't be a guarantee.
Right.
So we've got our two guys that are guaranteed transferring in. We're pretty much looking at a glory run from him.
So Smith with an 81, Curley with a 77. Doesn't have to do too much more than that. And then Smith doesn't even have to go if he doesn't want to go, and he shouldn't go, really.
And Wade's in our third spot. We'll have to watch after the next heat to see if he gets bumped out or if he gets that last spot into the final.
That's right. Because that 52 could be good enough. You just don't know. Here comes Zingberg's in.
Oh, Zingberg is not in. This one's Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith partner.
He apparently didn't take his run.
Okay, there you go. I should have noticed the red hair.
They're skipping out.
And he's just cruising around the course. He doesn't need to do anything.
He's out having fun.
Yep. So Smith will be in, qualifying with a score of 81, and for sure Chad Curley will advance. So those are our two riders for sure going into the final. And we still have 5 more riders to go in heat number 2, and we'll tell you about that in just a moment. But once again, this is heat number 1. Taking a look at the scores, Jeremiah Smith with an 81, Chad Curley with a 77, and Morgan Wade on the bubble.
Real criteria, it's just go out there, and they're really looking for the best usage of what you have available to you.
So 140 to go.
Wow. 270 drop in. Up roll to whip to now that's something to point out. That was improvising. He didn't want to go off the course.
Right.
He went up the rail, the tail whip, was leaning to the left, couldn't do anything but drop off the course, so we might as well bar spin it.
Last year he won the Key X Games gold medal. Now he's going for it again. Is Curley safe? Right now he is, because Smith will need a huge score to bump up himself into first place.
He's going for it. Everything he touches, he is doing a trick on. Smiling, riding around, having a good time. Smith grind, manual. See what he's got here. Toothpick hangover.
Chad Curley in first place. Smith, defending X Games gold medalist, in second place with currently a 73, got a 37, so a 76.
Brian Kaczynski cooking up some ideas. What's he doing? Oh, wow. He's definitely trying to step up his game. He went for nollie to toothpick hangover going down that rail, which is the first time we've seen that.
Yep, and you might hear the wind in our microphones. It's kicking up a little bit, but as Chad said, it doesn't really affect too much on the street course.
It'll push you around a little bit here and there. It's worse when you way up in the air, so whoever you see boosting real high on these quarters, it might be getting them real bad. It's never any fun to have adverse stuff like that.
No, and you got to, pedal against it too, We know anybody that rides a bike has pedaled against wind before. And a good run for Kaczynski. It won't be enough to get in a medal, but he's in the 5th spot right now.
Anybody in this final is doing something right, because there's only 5 guys right here. These are the 5 best in the world you're looking at.
Dakota Roach with a 70 has an opportunity to get on the podium.
He's doing a good job of it right now.
He certainly is. He's focused. Dakota Roach down the stairs through via the rail. Riding away from the judges.
Oh, that was great. See, he's doing consistency on his last few runs, but changing a few things. That was an up rail to 180 look back.
Now this is where we lost him last time. Let's see what he's going to do.
He's got something he's thinking of.
That's
Not
so
just setting
hard.
up right for that.
You're watching Dakota Roach with a current score of 70. He was pretty excited about that. He should be. So Curley is our current leader. Hoffman with a 68, getting ready to go.
And Dakota worried about what Hoffman's just about to do, because he is the only one that can bump him out of that bronze medal position.
Yep.
And he definitely has the skills to do it. Let's see if he can put it together.
So Bruno Hoffman not coming out of anywhere. This guy is very famous in his own right in the world of BMX.
Bruno is well known. Everybody knows he is a dialed street rider, and he is showing you exactly why. The majority of the tricks he's already done would take everybody else 10 tries to pull each one.
Pretty amazing. Bruno Hoffman, one of the top 5 here at the Key X Games Asia, has a 68. Hoping he can get a little bit higher to get on the podium.
This run's looking good. It's looking promising. That's great. And straight back out. Exit stage left.
So Curley doesn't have to go. Chad Curley's got an 86. Or he'll go, though. He does have to go in one essence, because Smith could come out and, and get a huge score.
And there we go. Bruno Hoffman jumping up with a 73, bumping Dakota out of that bronze medal position.
So Hoffman will at least get a medal, and it's going to be a deciding factor on Curley and Smith on who will exchange podiums.
That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. From a hang 5, balancing on your front wheel and jumping into a grind.
Curley trying to separate himself even more from Smith.
That's great. Those are the things he needs to do to round out this run. It's looking like he's improving on his score right now.
He hasn't had a bad run all day.
No.
He really hasn't. You don't see consistency this much in every run.
Down.
Yeah, nothing. It was awesome. Even when he wasn't planning on flying off the ramp, he still pulled it off. Jeremiah Smith comes down to this. Last year he won the X Games gold medal. Curley holds on with an 86 right now. He'll almost need a perfect score here.
Yeah, he'll need close to a perfect score.
Yeah. Huge whip.
he's definitely putting it out there. He knows what he's got to do. And the flying line is capable of it. Let's see if he can pull this off. Going for it. Good job, Jeremiah. I mean, being able to trick both of those jumps going through. Oh, and he goes down. That's it. He's laughing. He knows.
Yep, definitely knows there.
Nothing to be ashamed of. Putting it on the line, getting that second. He's got a silver medal coming to him.
And that's not bad. He won the gold medal last year. Just switches podiums there for a second. He goes down a step, but not too bad because Chad Curley was absolutely flawless today. So Chad Curley with an 86 wins the competition. Jeremiah Smith gets second place with 76, and Bruno Hoffman with a 73. Here we go. This is how it breaks down. Chad Curley wins gold. Jeremiah Smith